Conversations are for us to help each other. I really do believe that. A lot of time, people get in conversations and they use evil words or evil phrases, and their heart come out, and things get bad because people don't use conversation to help each other. And that's what I believe in: conversation to help each other. That's why if I bring up a topic that may be we may be on different sides, I want to hear your side. All right, so let's get into the next topic, next segment. We're talking about church. I'm sorry, no. We're talking about how to find a good church. How to find church, and I think that's one of the biggest problems we're dealing right now is Jesus said there will be there was the parable of the weeds, where there was this gardener. He planted good seeds. He planted wheat, and while he was gone, his enemy came and planted some weed amongst the wheat. And Jesus said, let them grow together. Just let them grow together. At the end, the harvester will pick the wheat, and he will throw the weeds in the fire. Well, what's happening now is that we've done that, and there are weeds growing up amongst the wheat, and there are weeds starting churches. People that wasn't planted by God, that was planted by the enemy. So it's hard to find good churches. We got a couple questions to answer. Is a mega church better than a small church? How to know if a pastor is one of those weed pastors? And a lot of times, none of this stuff is hard to figure out, right? To be honest with you, if we use 2 Timothy chapter 3 and 4, it tells you exactly how to find it, right? So when it first come up, let's answer the first question: mega church or small church, right? That's the first question. I've never been to a mega church, and they say in the mega church is I think what is it over what I think it's 200, 300 people. It's supposed to be a mega 200 people. It's supposed to be a mega church, and I've never experienced 200 people. I've been in church with 200 people at a time, unless it's like a bunch of churches together. For like our church, my old church, we used to affiliate with other churches, and if we did like one of the pastor appreciations, our church would come. Then you'll get 200 people, 100 to 200 people. But normally, every Sunday, even on the Easter, most we get on the Easter Sunday would probably be like 75 to 100. That's just how I prefer to come up. I didn't want to go to a mega church. I still don't care too much about a mega church. But this right here is my preferences along the mega church line and small church. I think that in a small church you can grow better. Then if we look at if we look at the book of Acts, we see the Acts was like home church based. And when Paul was sending a letter, he was sending a letter to if he was sending a letter to the Roman church, it was a letter that was passed around by 4 or 5 pastors in Rome or where the Romans was. So it was a real small church, and it flowed better. Now he also sent church letters to churches like the Corinthians. The Corinthians seemed like it would have been a bigger church, and they had different issues, man. The Corinthian church had some issues. We don't get into that here. Should we get into that here? That's a good question, because like some of the issues, but we don't get into that here. We'll talk that another talk. But I prefer a small church because I think there's better growth. Now there are some mega churches, not many, but there are some mega churches that has growth. But what you get with mega churches, a more Sunday focused worship, worship service. It has to be on fleek. The word has to be on fleek. And in small church for me is I know people. I get to know people. I get to to hook and hook up with other people and see their lives. I get to talk to brothers and sisters and grow with them. Or you get invited to their house and you get to know them on an intimate level. Where I think that it builds community better. I think a small church builds community better over a mega church. I think the mega church because it's so big, it doesn't have time to really build small churches. Now I know a lot of the mega churches do a good job with small groups, getting into small groups and really have 4 or 5 people meet at one person's house throughout the week. And everything, and that's cool. Because it's getting to the intimate growth. If they have that at a mega church, I would say that'd be a better place for you than just any mega church. To knowing what you want out of a mega church will help you, and hopefully with this video, I help you know what you want out of a church. So me personally, it's like I prefer a small church. Matter of fact, I prefer Bible study over Sunday service. I love worship. Don't get it twisted. I love worship, but I think Bible study you can grow. I think from my experiences, most of my growth happened out of Bible study. Most of my growth happened out of small groups when we were just in the church. It would be 10 of us and we studied the Bible and that's where most of my growth came from. Now, as far as the question of how to find a good church, I'm going to tell you to look for 3 things, right? Look for a pastor that's living, not just preaching the word, but living the word, right? He ain't tell you to go out and love people. He's out loving people too. He's teaching the word in a way to come follow me, not in the word of this is what you better do. No, it's look what I'm doing and do it. That's what you want to do. Jesus didn't teach the disciple by telling them just to go. No, the disciple was watching Jesus and Jesus was doing. So doing is very key. It's very important. With my ministry online, it's just me, trying to teach you. But my ministry overall, it has to be me doing, especially when I'm talking about building my community. It has to be it has to be me in my community building. And then, people are going to see that. People see the authenticity when you're in your community. Now, you got some of those that just follow anybody because they speak good, they look good, they're outside. Check out the last podcast. I talked about that, seeking the word and not the titles or talent. And a lot of times we are very talented, so people follow us, but that's not the way to pick a church because of a talented pastor. Pick a church because the pastor is out in the community doing. I hope that's why when my ministry comes to the community, I hope people follow me because I'm out there. I hope people follow me because I'm doing, not because I can speak well. Secondly, look at the people in the church. See are the people in the church growing. Like, try to see if this person from day one, you may have to meet, you may have to visit a church for a couple months. But see, when you first go to that church and 2 months later, are the members growing? Because if the members are not growing, then you're not going to grow. Like, you should see members, not so much, and when I say growth, I'm not talking about, oh, this one came in and now they got a nice car. Or this one came in and now they got a nice home. That's not growth. We're talking about spiritual growth. I'm talking about this one came in and he was a weed head and now he's not a weed head no more. Or you see him struggling and coming to the church and the church praying with him and really community being in community around him. That's how you tell. I'm going to skip the last break. I was supposed to do a break around here. So I'm going to skip the last break. Because I really like where it's going. So secondly, you want to see growth in the church amongst the members. Right? You definitely want to see growth among the members. And thirdly, getting back to what I said about the pastor, is the church in community. Like when the church asks you for the tithes, Are they doing something? Are they? Can you see the? First of all, if the church asks you for tithes and then you ask them what they're doing with the tithes and they catch attitude, that's not church for you. If the church can't be open enough to tell you what they're doing with the money that you're giving them, then that's not church for you. I know when I plan to start my community ministry, if you give a tithe, when I have the meeting when the ministry have the meeting to do what's next with the tithe, I want people to be there. It's not nothing I'm gonna hide. This is a community, right? I'm not trying to hide anything from you. And a church that's trying to hide what they're doing with their money, a church when it's time for money and they're secretive, they're not telling you what they pulled in, and they're not telling you what they're doing with what they pulled in, and they're not upfront with you about what they're doing with the money, then it may not be with you, may not be for you. And I'm not saying this so you can say, okay, well, I'm worried about what they're doing with my money. No, I'm not telling you that. What I'm telling you that is, if a church is not doing what they're supposed to be doing with your money, then that's a dishonest church, and you don't want to be around that church. You don't want to be in that ministry. That's all I'm saying. So when I'm looking for a church, or when you're looking for a church, you should be looking for those three things. Is the pastor authentic, not telling you what to do, but to tell you to do what he's doing? Right? That's how I hope to, by the grace of God, build my ministry, by me doing and bringing people, and people coming along, they see me doing and they want to do too. Then number two, church growth. Discipleship has to be happening. If discipleship is not happening, then you shouldn't be there. If people are not being discipled, or if the only ones being discipled are the kids, are the pastor kids, or if they're the only one that's showing growth, then you shouldn't be there. And lastly, make sure they upfront with not just the money, but everything they do. Right? Everything they do. If they ask you money for the building fund, then make sure you know what the building fund is. They're not just telling you, oh, we need money to build fund. And listen, money in ministry is very important. Money in ministry is very important if it's doing the thing that it's supposed to be doing. I mean, you got businesses out there, they need the resource, they need the tool of money. Money is a tool. They need the tool of money. I'm gonna need the tool of money when I build my ministry. Everybody is. That's one of the things that we can use. But we gotta be able to say that we're doing the right thing with it. Not just money, but any other resources. If you donate a car, make sure that car is going to people that need it. Or make sure it's doing something that's needed for the body. So that's all we really have on that one. I hope these three help you.